going to begin together today, if it works for you, is your soles of your feet together and your knees wide open. And if you'd like to sit cross-legged instead, do that. Or you're going to work with your feet together and your knees wide. And then from here, we're just going to start to circle forward and back, round as you lean back. And then little lift of the chest as you come forward. Tuck your chin as you round back and just keep going, circling gently through the low back, creating a little bit of release in your pelvis. Deep breath. This may or may not be a move that I learned and practiced when I was pregnant. Hello, prenatal yoga is also similar to spa yoga sometimes. It's all about releasing and being in the moment, this practice of spa yoga. And so usually that means just letting things feel really spacious. So we'll just continue rounding and circling through the hips here. Couple more. Yeah, deep, deep breath. Everyone's here. Gang's all here for spa yoga. And I guess one thing that's fun about spa yoga is that it's okay to chat or to talk with your buddy, either via the internet or if you're with someone, you can talk with them during the practice because it's not that strenuous. And then if you can at other times, just kind of go inside and breathe deeply. Okay. And then from here, we'll sit up really tall with hands on shins or hands on the ankles. Before we fold, lift the chest with your shoulders back, and now circle your head and your neck in one direction. Go slow. Deep breathing. Take your time for your neck. Go in the other direction. So good that we can all be here together again today. And when you feel ready, start to fold over your legs. A little bit or a lot, bowing over your legs for Baddha Konasana. And try walking your hands and your forearms over to the left. Almost so that you're folding a little more over your left shin. And your right sitting bone stays really grounded. And have a good breathe into wherever you feel this. Again, we're just easing open the inner thighs. Big focus for your inner thighs today. And slowly come through center and walk your hands over to the other side. Walk your hands through center, and folding through the middle for about 3 or 4 deep, deep breaths. Let go. With every inhale and exhale, let go. Spa yoga is all about softening. It's all about relaxing into the body and relaxing into the breath. You do enough in your everyday life. Let's all just use this time now to let go. You deserve this time to let go. Final deep breath for your groin and your hips. And slowly come up and extend your legs out in front of you. So with your legs extended out, just point and flex your toes a few times, waking up your feet, your ankles. And now start to smack your knees on the ground. And just keep actively shaking the legs and smacking. Use your hands and tap your thighs. And then pass down to your outer calves, your outer shins. And if you can reach your feet, then smack the tops of your feet. Come back up through your inner calves and your inner thighs. Oh yeah, inner thighs. I'm gonna love you up today. And then sit nice and tall, be still, breathe it in. Breathe in all the sensations. Option to place a hand on your upper chest and your other hand on your low abdomen. Remember that this practice is about you right now, taking care of yourself right now, just for now. There's a lot going on around us that we need to be present for and that we need to be really grounded for. So just give yourself this time to find that grounding that you need. And find that breath that you need. One more big breath. And slowly make your way into child's pose. So have your knees almost mat width apart and your arms stretched out in front of you. And your forehead could either be underneath your hands or you can have your forehead on the ground. And listen to the sound of your breath as it rebounds off your mat. Just start to comb through your body with your awareness and notice, is there anywhere in the body that feels a little achy, and can you breathe more into those areas? It's said that where attention goes, energy grows. Where attention goes, energy grows. So just notice, what kind of attention are you giving to your body? What kind of energy or what types of feelings do you want to cultivate for yourself? Feel free to stay in child's pose for as long as you like. I know how amazing child's pose is, so you can always stay there. And meet us at any point. If you're gonna move with me on hands and knees, take a few cat-cows. So inhale to lift your chest up, exhale to round your back, have your fingers spread apart on the mat. Inhale, arc your spine, open your throat up, round as you exhale. A few more times, arcing. Your whole exhale to round, make the movement last the breath. Couple more. And now from a neutral spine, pick up your right arm and thread your right arm behind your left wrist so that your right temple comes onto the floor. And then tent your left fingertip somewhat in front of your face, or they could be back behind your head a little bit more. And literally walk your bottom arm further away from your face with your navel into your spine. Lean back and twist. And try to extend your breath up into both sides of your spine and breathe up into your upper back. Place your left hand flat, come on up, and take one cat-cow from hands and knees. Inhale, open your chest. Exhale, tuck your tailbone, duck your chin into your chest. Find a neutral spine. And now lift your left arm up and thread your left arm behind your right wrist so that your left temple comes onto the floor. And as you spider through your right fingertips, walk your bottom arm further away from you. Feel your hips tilting up and back into the air, and breathe into your whole upper body. Slowly coming back up. And now from hands and knees, I'll just spin so that you can see me. Start to turn your hands so they face out left to right, so that your middle fingers point out side to side. And then continue, if you can, spinning your hands so that they face back to your knees. Little bend in your elbows, so not locked. For less intensity in the wrists, just shift forward so that your shoulders are forward of your wrists, or for more, lean back. I love to sway from one side to the other side slowly. Your 10 fingers claw the mat. I also like to take cat-cow, so I'll just kind of share with you always the things that I like to do, and you do what feels right, or just stay still. A few more breaths for your wrists. Hello, wrists. I gotta say, I'm on my phone a lot more recently, and it's nice to do some of these wrist releases from all the extra time that we're spending getting connected through technology, which is great, but my wrists are really feeling it. Okay, and then we'll slowly lift up, shake out your hands, shake, 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 shake. Yes, so great. And then from here, a downward facing dog or a child's pose. So remembering to choose what best serves your energy in this moment, what best serves your needs, your physical needs. If you're in down dog, you can walk out the dog, pedal out your heels. If you're in child's pose, choose any version of child's pose that you love. And stay really, really interested in your breath. How does your breath feel? And how does your body respond to your breath? For me, my body always says, "Oh, hello, Carolyn," whenever I breathe deeply into it. Like, really, my body is always just so thankful when I'm mindfully breathing. So just pay attention to what your body is saying to you. For one more full breath wherever you are. And then take your time to meet me in a standing forward fold near the top of your mat. Feet about hip width apart, second toes parallel and pointing straight forward. Fingers can be on the mat, or you can grab hold of opposite elbows. So nice to sway gently side to side without locking your knees. Micro bend your knees and maybe rock back to the heels and to the toes a little more and side to side. Release any neck tension. And then with your fingertips either on the floor or your fingertips on your shins, lift up halfway as you inhale. And as you exhale, fold and bow into your legs. And do that again with me. Lift up just halfway, chest reaching forward, hips back. Exhale, bow, maybe lower down. Bow, bow, bow. One more time, inhale up, flat back. Exhale, fold. And from your fold, step your left foot back on your mat and lower your left knee down to the earth. Good, so good. Walk your hands inside your right foot as though you're moving towards lizard, so that your right foot is over at the right edge of your mat and your hands are inside. And you can either be up on fingertips, that's kind of what I'll recommend, or your hands can be flat if you know that's a bit easier for your wrists and your hands. And just start to take big circles with your pelvis in one direction. You know, as big circles as your pelvis will allow for. And don't worry about form too much. Just really circle and invite some mobility into your hips. Notice what areas feel stiff and what areas feel open. Switch the direction of the circles. I never thought I would be doing this movement on camera. Okay, hello hips. And then, finding stillness, swing your back foot off to the right behind you. So your back knee, your back toes are like a little kickstand. Keep your right knee bent to 90 and walk your hands off the front left corner of your mat. Just enough so that you have straight arms, but keep your hips pulling back, front knee bent deep. Release the weight of your head down. And breathe as much space as you can into your hips. You might be feeling it in both hips or in one hip a little more. It's all good. Give yourself breath. It's so important that we're taking this time for ourselves. Good, and now walk your hands towards you and walk your hands around to the left side of your mat with your hips lifted. Wiggle your right foot further to the front of your mat and have your whole foot flat and your foot parallel to that short edge of your mat as well. And we're gonna rise up for gate pose. So hands upon hips, draw your right hip down and slide your right hand down your right leg, lift your left arm and a little side bend towards the top of your mat. Hug navel in, big breaths. Just another day at the spa. Spa yoga. Last deep breath. And then with your core hugging in, rise up gently and bring your hands on the floor down in front of your legs. And on fingertips or hands flat, we're gonna rock the hips back a little and then come forward and then rock back. I always bend my right leg a little because my groin on the right side is tight. Go back and forward. One more time. And then we'll just kind of stay back in that position where you feel a little more happening in the inner thigh. And again, always good to bend your knee a touch. That way you're not going to strain anything. 5 more breaths. Coming back up. Walk your hands up to the front of your mat and swing your back foot to the back of your mat. And I know that by now you might already have padding under your back knee. Feel free to take care of your back knee with padding. Okay, so hands are still inside the right foot. Shift your pelvis back and come on your front heel. So we're gonna do a hamstring release more for the inner thighs because that's the focus today. Hands inside foot. Straightening your front leg any amount. Little bend in the front knee is great. And then either stay upright or bow inside your front leg. Energetically, try to drag your front heel towards you without it moving. And see if you can just sneak your right hip back a little more and your left hip forward a little more. Good, one more breath. Walk your hands towards you and come to downward facing dog. Pedal out your heels. Oh yeah, so good. Now walk your feet as wide apart as your mat, so your pinky toes touch the edges of your mat. And with a little, well actually quite a deep bend in both knees, your knees stay as wide as your ankles. Push into your hands and lift your hips up higher. Work your chest back as though to go between your wide knees and your hips as high as you can. And then walking your feet in and slowly walk up to the front of your mat with your feet hip width apart. And fingers on shins or the floor, lift up halfway and inhale. As you exhale, bow. Relax your neck and your jaw. One more time, halfway up. Hug your belly in. Exhale down. Good. Okay, from here, your right foot steps back and lower your right knee to the floor. Okay, just gonna do a little adjustment here with the hair. Okay, so walk your front foot over towards the left side of your mat with your hands on the floor inside your front foot. Okay, here we go. Hips circle back, side to side, forward, side. Just keep taking some really big circles in any way that serves your hips. Both directions. Okay, and finding a neutral position in stillness. Swing your right foot off to the left behind you with your toes tucked. Juicy bend in your left knee. Now walk your hands off the front right corner of your mat on that diagonal. Stick your hands into place and pull your pelvis back a little more away from your hands. This will bring more extension into the sides of your waist. Big, big breaths. And then we'll slowly come back up. I'm just going to change my angle a little bit here for you. And then you're going to walk your left foot out to the left. So it's parallel at the front of your mat. So just envisioning my mat is on a different angle here for gate posts. So hips level to the earth. Slide your left hand down your left leg. Reach your right arm up and over your right ear. Shoulders back on the back. Chin off chest. So good. So good. Good job to you. And also, wow, it feels really good, right? What a difference just a few deep breaths can make. It's amazing. One more breath here. And then coming up, lower your hands down in front of your body on fingertips or hands flat, and we'll just kind of pulse the hips back and forward a few times. Find a smoothness through your movements. And notice how your body is talking to you. Notice what your body says when you breathe deeply like this. And then we'll meet back a little bit further. You can keep your hands up or dip your elbows down. And try to tilt your sit bones out behind you so there's less rounding in your low back. Climb up onto your hands. And again, I'll get you to walk your hands up to your left foot at the front of your mat. I'm going to come back onto my mat now for a wider version of a hamstring stretch. So hands inside your left foot, be up on your left heel, toes flexed. Work your left sitting bone back and your right hip forward. And stay up, that might be excellent, just to stay upright, or perhaps your fingers crawl forward and you might bow a little lower through the torso. But can you get more length from your belly button forward to your chest? So if you're folding, it's with space in the spine rather than rounding. Okay, we're almost at my favorite part of spa yoga where we lie down. You ready to lie down? Let's go into down dog. Or you could already be lying down, and that's good. No problem if you're lying down. It's all about self-care. Sometimes I sing. Okay, so from down dog, couple breaths maybe, and we'll come through plank or kneed plank all the way down onto the stomach. And then from the stomach, prop yourself up onto your forearms so that your elbows are aligned underneath your shoulders and your chest is upright. Hands as wide apart as your elbows, Sphinx pose. You can explore here for the first little bit, letting your chest sink down and then lifting up away from your elbows, and then maybe one more time, squeezing shoulder blades, drop the chest and lift up. Stay up in a little more of a lifted position. Isometrically, you're engaging your arms. Try to drag your elbows back without moving them. Feel your breastbone lifted. And as you continue driving your elbows down, so there's energy in your arms to bring in more of a back bend. Lower just your chin to your chest and rock. Do little just half circles. Chin to the left and over to the right a couple times. Slowly. Two more breaths. And gently release your chest and your head down. You can stack your hands under your forehead, or you could look to one side. Inhale, feel your belly push down into the ground. And as you exhale, feel your low back, the curve deepening. Inhale to expand. And exhale, let your body get heavier. A half frog here on our stomachs. Bend your right knee out to the right so that your inner knee is on the ground and your knee is aligned beside your hip. And just bring your foot away from your opposite leg so your right knee's at 90 degrees. And you can either have your hands stacked under your forehead, or you could look away from your bent knee. One more full breath. And bring your right leg back for the other side, half frog. Your left knee out to the left. Just glide your left foot away from your right leg, and maybe turn your head to look away from your bent knee. Be mindful of every single breath. And know that this is really the sweetness of the practice is the breath. Return your left leg. And now come up onto your elbows one more time, onto your forearms, and take your knees wider and the soles of your feet together in the sky. So this is a butterfly pose on our stomachs. We did this at the start of class, folding over the legs, but now we're on our stomachs. And then without lifting your hips, keep your pubic bone down. You can stay up on your elbows or hands stacked under your forehead. We're gently sending the big toes towards the floor. And it's not important whether your big toes touch the ground or not. For most of us, the feet will be quite high. And I always love when I'm really working with something in a pose, when I don't have the full expression of the pose. To me, that's amazing because I have something to work with and I have something to breathe into and breathe for. And just notice how you're working with this pose. And feel your breath press lower into your pelvis. Just one more here. Really gently extend one leg back at a time. You can either sway your hips side to side or bend your legs and sway your feet side to side. And come to roll over onto your back. Nice. Great job. Great job. Okay, on our backs. You'll find that I will always offer a thread the needle in spa yoga classes. So, right ankle over left thigh. Either left foot stays on the ground or you interlace your fingers behind your left hamstrings. Can you press your shoulders down so your chest is broad? And give your hip a lot of breath. Hello, hips. After you've taken another really cleansing breath, we will keep the shape of the legs, but just unclasp the hands so the left foot comes onto the floor. And then take your right leg out into half happy baby pose, so that your right knee opens to the right. And then let your left knee open out to the left a couple inches, so your left leg is in a half butterfly. Place left hand on top of left hip. Use your right elbow to press your right knee maybe wider. And again, just being really patient with yourself as you breathe deeply. And what I love about so many of these lessons that we get to practice on the mat with our bodies is that they're really, really useful, and where they matter most is out in the world. So when I ask us to be patient with our bodies, it's really so that we cultivate more patience when we go out into the world. And when the fear comes up in us, and when we see the fear in others, can we have patience for ourselves and others? Can we find this type of breath for ourselves and for others? One more here. And now cross your right thigh right over top of your left thigh. So we're still working right leg over left leg. Move your hips over to the right a couple inches for an eagle legs twist. Bring your knees all the way over to the left. Tuck your knees a little closer up to your chest. And maybe look in the opposite direction of your knees. And now let your breath do the work into this really sweet twist. I know it can feel a little bit tight, so you might put a book or a cushion under your knees. Now let your breath do the work. Good, one more. Hug belly into spine to help lift your legs up. Uncross and stretch out on your mat for a moment and reach your arms back in the opposite direction. Give a really big stretch, point your toes, get longer, stretch, stretch. And now say, and relax. Let's do it one more time. Big stretch. Zip your inner legs, reach your arms back, engage your muscles, squeeze everything. Take a big inhale and let go. And meeting me, left ankle over your right thigh for thread the needle, the same variation that you did on the other side. Listen to what your body is telling you with every single breath. One more. And just land your right foot onto the floor and take your left knee out to the left for our half happy baby here. And then your right leg, your right knee can just drop down to the right a little bit, not all the way. For a half happy baby on the left side and a half butterfly on the right side. Flex your left toes in the sky, splay your left toes apart. And every time you exhale, can you work to imprint your shoulder blades down? Three or four more deep, deep breaths. Just take your time to close that gap, so staying with left thigh over top of right thigh like eagle legs. Move your hips to the left a little and twist your knees over to the right. And again, you can have a little bit of support underneath your knees because I know this one, it can feel deep. I trust that you're going to take care of your body and just listen to any of the kind of variations that you need. Just give yourself the variations. And drop right into your breath. Breath in and out. Two more. Sweetly twist and wring out your whole spine as you exhale. And then hug your belly in to untwist. Okay, well, I forgot to get my sturdy books ready today. I would love to do a supported bridge. So what I'm going to do instead is grab a cushion and let's do a supported bridge together. So you can use any books, or if you have a block near you, use a block. And then just lift your hips up and slide your bum and your hips on top of your block or on top of your cushion. I just doubled my cushion over so I could have a little bit more height. Again, never thought I'd be doing this in this way, but here we are, and really we're here, we're present together. What a wild ride this life is. It's amazing that we're all seeking more presence together through this journey. Okay, we'll be here for about 10 breaths. Let's do some really soothing breath work. Start by exhaling out your mouth. And now close your lips for a count of 5. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold for 1. And for 5, exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way up to your chest, and hold for 1. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Keep going, counting to yourself. Try to make your inhales more expansive. focus your mind on this simple practice of counting. One more round, inhaling for 5 and exhaling for 5. And now allow your breath to be a little more gentle. Soften any tension in your eyes. Press your feet into the floor, lift up off your cushion or any props that you have. Lower your bum down. And extend your legs out. Hands can be around your hips. And let your legs and your feet relax out for a little rest together. Are you holding any tightness around your face? Is there anything you can relax around your eyes or in your mouth? And let's give a big cleansing breath together. If you have more time to rest, then stay on your back and rest. If you're going to come out of the practice with me now, then gently come up to sitting. Cross-legged, or you can sit on your shins if that's better for you. Finishing the practice, maybe with palms in prayer or a hand on your heart. Remembering that this practice is, yes, it's about learning some of the lessons that we need for our own physical bodies, or unlearning some of the unhelpful things that we've been holding on to, really so that we can go out into the world where the practice really counts. Thank you for taking this time today in Spa Yoga. I'm sure that your inner thighs are also thanking you. Thank you for connecting as a group this way to the collective. This community is amazing. Namaste. You're amazing. Namaste. Thank you so much for